So if you haven't been online recently, then you might have heard of a little game called Dragon Age The Veilguard, and it's safe to say it's a little divisive. People are either full in on it, absolutely hate its guts and what it apparently represents, and everyone else is, it's fine. It is what it is, apparently. And honestly, after playing this game for around, God, I think I'm at 10 hours or so. Maybe 11 hours. I'm not really sure, actually. It's fine. Honestly, Dragon Age The Veilguard, there are way worse games out there, but especially I think if you're a person who loves the old Dragon Age games or thought that Bioware was finally making this comeback after the last Mass Effect game and Anthem, I hate to break it to you guys, this is not the game for you. And I can even see this in the reviews and everything that I see, whether it was someone like SkillUp or Maddie Plays or just anyone basically, that if you are somebody who wanted this game to be how the older Dragon Age games were, that was just not going to happen. Whether it's simply the fact that the old team is gone, at least most of them. Yes, there are still a few of the old guards still around with Bioware and everything, but the majority of those developers and everything, they're new. They're not part of that OG team that made those games that everyone fell in love with at that particular time and everything. This is definitely for, I would say, the new generation of gamers, if you want to put it that way, right? It definitely feels a lot safer in terms of like how game design is, how the world works. I mean, you could definitely tell that even this originally was supposed to be some kind of live service game, and yet if you're looking at this particular B-roll right here, this is a hub area. This was definitely meant to be that kind of live service Destiny style game and everything like that. The way you maneuver to different worlds and just simply fast travel, you could easily bring two other people online with you at some particular point probably, but that's just not the way it is. It's all single player obviously now because they know they probably have gotten a ton of backlash and everything. But in the end, this game is definitely not what everyone, I think, especially if you like the older games, wanted it to be. Is it the worst game that Bioware's ever made? No, that unfortunately still goes to Anthem, which I know little Bobby is crying in a corner right now. And that is also going towards, the latest Mass Effect game and everything like that. Although some people might say that the latest Mass Effect game is better than this game. That's perfectly fine. It's always comes down to your own personal taste. That's just the way video games are and everything. But when people say that this game is like just absolutely crazy and pathetic and all this kind of stuff, the whole 9 yards of all the typical online talking points and everything, after playing this game for, again, around 10 to 11 hours or so, I will say that if you're somebody who likes a fantasy action style game with a little bit of light RPG stuff where you level up stuff, you get new abilities and everything, then I think you could like this game. I don't know if it's worth full price. I'd probably say you get this on sale for maybe like $30, give or take, wait for a sale. I don't know if it's I'm only going to get it if it's at $5. I think it's worth a little bit more than that. I definitely say if you're into that type of style of game that I just described, you'll get your money's worth. If you're somebody, again, who wanted the deep, dark story with gritty options, and no matter what option you picked, it was drastically changing everything, this game is not for you. You are not going to like this game just flat out right now. Again, like I said, the team that made that game and those games in the past, they are not here with this game. Yes, a few of them are still probably around in terms of the developers, but overall, this is not that game. It just isn't. It's flat out is, and I think people need to understand that. To the point of all the the typical online talking points about what kind of message this game sends and everything like that, which honestly I had to shake my head at. Go play the older Dragon Age games. They kind of do the same thing. I would say this one is definitely a little bit more in your face sometimes with some particular talking points, but going back to how the game actually plays, obviously the dialogue is very long like you'd expect from this type of thing. The dialogue options are definitely, I think, on the safer side. No matter what options I pick, no one like drastically freaks out or anything. Nobody is yelling or anything like that. They get mildly irritated or they might get a little angry, but overall it's just simply, it feels like you brush past it after a couple minutes, and that's basically it. So again, if you're not into that type of storytelling or that's not what you're looking for, then you probably will not like this game or anything like that. In terms of the worlds and the areas you can go to and everything, I think they look really nice in terms graphically and how well this game runs. It definitely is a higher production value in terms of those specs, I would say. I mean, this game runs very well on PC from what I've seen. I mean, the Steam charts alone right now are saying that a majority of the people who have bought this game enjoy it so far for what it is. They're not saying it's a masterpiece or anything. It's not game of the year. And I think if you are saying that, then I guess for you personally it could be, but I think for majority of people wouldn't be. But overall, it's a very well-made game in terms of just how well it runs and everything, the looks, the frame rate, all that stuff. It seems to run very, very well, whether it's on console, like you see here on the PS5, whether you play it over on PC. Overall, it's very well. I mean, heck, the thing was Steam Deck verified like 2 months before the release of this game. So, I mean, that's got to say something right there. It is on the Frostbite engine, so, hope your CPU is decent at least. And I don't think you'd particularly want to play this on the Steam Deck, but if that's your only option, then, by all means, go ahead. But again, overall, it runs very well. I definitely like the colors and the look of some of the world areas that you can go into, whether it's one of the big forest areas that you can kind of maneuver around and explore and everything. A couple of the towns definitely seem very similar, kind of more kind of gothic, style that you'd expect from castles and all that kind of fantasy world stuff and all that. But overall, they look nice. But again, it's not your kind of really dark look and place and dark conversations and everything that you might have seen from some of the older games and everything. So, but of course, I'm not alone as always. Lemon, I got to ask you, as somebody who has probably read some of the reviews, watched a few of the reviews online, and now having watched this stream now for a good about almost 2 hours now, what are your personal thoughts on just watching, whether it was the gameplay, the dialogue, anything like that? What are your personal thoughts when you just simply see it in front of you? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
It's certainly a game. Can confirm, is a game. I don't know. It looks like an 85 out of 100 kind of game. I don't know what anyone was expecting. As a whole, there's really just kind of two Dragon Age style games. There's the original Origins, which is far closer to like a Baldur's Gate kind of game. And there's everything after that. This one seems to kind of carry on what Dragon Age 2 is doing. And for some reason, people saw this and thought they were going to go back to Origins. Not sure what those people were thinking. Copium, I guess. I don't know. I don't really, outside of the usual Nimrod suspects bitching and moaning about DEI and stuff, I don't know what everyone else is flipping out about. I feel like generally people like it outside of the usual suspects. Mm-hmm. I don't think the dialogue is as bad as you say it is, but it's not great. I think the graphics are cool.
I will say right now, real quickly, yes, the dialogue, especially some of it can definitely be very cheesy. It can be pretty bad in some spots. So, but then again, I'm not someone who's a deep Dragon Age lore guy or anything like that. Like, I'm here for the cool, flashy gameplay, essentially. You play this over the weekend type of thing. Again, is it worth the full price? That's obviously up to you and everything. But
wait for it until it's $20.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I would say as well. Yeah, just kind of wait till it's $20, and I think you could have a fun time with it and everything like that. You kind of just like, I just want to kick back and relax on the couch, kill some enemies with some cool magic or sword attacks. Obviously, you can pick between a warrior and a mage and a necromancer, I believe, is the third class. I personally went with the mage because I always love my fire and ice and lightning and all that stuff. What do you think about going forward? Do you think that people should expect Dragon Age to go back to the way it quote unquote used to be or anything like that? Or do you think that people, whether it's Dragon Age or Mass Effect, by the way, or do you simply think that people should just learn to accept that this is the new era of Bioware stuff and this is not going to be, the stuff that we remember from the old days?
So, Dragon Age Origins, came out in 2009.
Yep.
Right? So, it was a long time ago. I don't know. People shouldn't expect a Dragon Age Origins. Again, it's too expensive to make at a AAA kind of studio. Despite how much Bioware, may have fallen from grace, still probably pushing AAA budgets. So I don't think you could really do a Dragon Age Origins again. I think this is a far safer bet, as this game looks like a very safe bet. They did not push the envelope anywhere, it seems like, from what I've seen. But no, I think people should expect another Dragon Age. people theoretically, if this does get made, another one gets made, they should expect something like this. As for Mass Effect, they've all roughly been the same. It's just Andromeda, it kind of sucked. Like it's the gameplay's there, but nothing else. Like the characters weren't interesting, the soul was gone, you weren't fighting any of the cool enemies, Rex wasn't in it, Turians really weren't in it. I mean, it wasn't Mass Effect 1 through 3. That was the problem. Andromeda probably was gonna fail, even if it was really good, just because it's, I don't know, it's like the sequel trilogy in Star Wars. They try so hard to harken back to the old ones that they kind of don't really have a ground to stand. So that's why I'm worried about next Mass Effect. I fear they're gonna do the same thing. This one seems fun. I'll probably enjoy it when I pick it up. So I say stick with the Dragon Age 2 methodology. They're cheap to make, cheaper, and they're fun. Everyone likes a good fantasy, sword and spells kind of.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think is it safe for me to assume that, again, this is definitely marketed more towards just whether it's newer gamers or people who are not crazy deep into the Dragon Age lore. Like, obviously, the people who played the older games are going to potentially try and pick this up, whether you watch reviews or not, because they want to potentially see some aspects of that story continue on. But overall, in the end, this is probably not made for the hardcore Dragon Age crowds anymore. Would you say? Is that
who is the hardcore Dragon Age crowd? Because I distinctly remember when Dragon Age 2 came out, people were fucking pissed. They were livid. They were like, this game sucks ass, has nothing to do with Dragon Age Origins at all. From a gameplay standpoint, this game is ass. I remember that, and I remember getting it. I will actually, a friend of mine let me borrow it, and he was like, don't listen to him, check this game out. I loved it. I love Dragon Age 2. But God, those reviews and all the butthurt people online made me think the game was
would you say that
good,
history's repeat itself then right now?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, so to hear the, oh yeah, they this is nothing with the Dragon Age I remember. It's like, are you just talking about Origins? Because that boat sailed a long time ago. Those hardcore Dragon Age fans aren't Dragon Age fans. They just like the first one, and they just kind of noped out the other ones. So I think they should take a hike. This franchise isn't for them. Go play Baldur's Gate. Go play some other European RPGs, because this ain't it for them. Which is fine with me, because I enjoy them.
I mean, it's funny watching some of the reviews and everything. People were, obviously this game was going to be brought up and compared to Baldur's Gate 3 and everything like that. And again, I think if you're somebody who is really deep into picking different conversations and everything, and really having consequences and all that stuff when it comes to your particular type of RPG that you might like, something like Baldur's Gate 3 is clearly going to be your cup of tea, I would say. However, I do see some people saying, like, I don't like the gameplay of Baldur's Gate 3 because they're not into the whole turn-based thing. There are a lot of people who don't prefer turn-based. So I think you have to kind of either accept it and try to get used to something like turn-based, or unfortunately, if you like this kind of more style of gameplay, this is what you've got right now. But it's just not as dark or gritty or anything like that. And a lot of the choices are very safe in terms of the writing and everything, and the way that the game has played out so far in the 10 to 11 hours that I've played. It's a very safe game. It's a video game. That's all it is. It's a video game. You jump in, you play some, you hop off, you come back later on, and you keep playing. That's all you do. It's not that deep. It's got some flashy combat. It's not the best combat, but it can still be fun here and there. So, but that's what this game is essentially, like that. So, and again, tell that to the Steam numbers themselves. Like, everyone always likes to point to the Steam numbers because it's reviewing well so far on PS5 in terms of, if you look at like the store star ratings and everything like that. Xbox, I think, is doing okay. I'm not really sure. I mean, the Steam numbers overall, they're still positive. Regardless of people saying, it didn't hit 2 million or anything like that. It's like, you really expected Dragon Age The Veilguard, any Dragon Age game, to hit 2 million players in like the first weekend?
I mean, it's the 4th best-selling game right now on Steam. Yeah. So I'm trying to find it on the playlist.
So I
It's
mean,
just the 19th most played right now.
yeah. So that's the way it is. I think people need to just kind of accept that. And again, if the game's not for you, for whatever reason is, whether it's gameplay, whether it's the dialogue, whether it's whatever you don't like about inclusion or anything like that, then fine, move on to another game. Like, that's it. It's done. That's all it is. You don't like it, move on, find something else. If you're into multiplayer stuff, go play Call of Duty, I guess, or something like that. If you're looking for other single player games or RPGs, go play Metaphor right now. You want some good hours and a long game? Metaphor's got your number, man. Go play that right now. Heck, go play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Go play the latest Yakuza / Like a Dragon game. Like, this year, 2024, is the year of the RPG. You've got plenty of choices right now. If this Dragon Age game right now is not your cup of tea, you got plenty of other choices. You really do.
Yep.
So go pick one. Just pick one and go play. I mean, Lemon right now can tell you that Like a Dragon, Metaphor, awesome games. I can tell you right now, Metaphor, absolutely awesome game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, my personal game of the year, but everyone has always got their different opinions and everything. You have tons of options. You seriously have tons. If Dragon Age is just not what you want it to be, or it's what you were hoping that Bioware was gonna make a return to form, well, guess what? You got other choices. So, but then again, I've been trying to preach that for years and years when it comes to people saying that there's no good games anymore. I'm just like, and your effing horizons, you dumb mother. But yeah, that's just the way it is. So overall, though, again, Dragon Age, you can have fun with it. Is it worth the full price? I personally think it's definitely a wait for a sale. But, you know, am I saying I'm absolutely bored of playing it? It's the most egregious travesty of a game, and the gaming industry is now dead because of it, and I'm never gonna be able to recover? Oh, God. Get over yourself if you're thinking that way.